Alright, hello everybody. My name is Ross, aka Technohobo, and I am homeless. I'm a homeless traveler. I live out of my backpack, I hitchhike, I hop trains, I walk when I have to, and today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you everything that I keep in my pack. This is not a how-to, it's mostly, a lot of this stuff is useless and I will tell you when it is useless. It's just all the things that I've accumulated over my about 7 months on the road, and yeah, so let's get started. First of all, we can talk about this tripod that I'm going to be using throughout the video. It's a little beat up, but it's nice. It's telescoping. It's got the legs and stuff. This is obviously specific to me as a YouTuber, so I wouldn't recommend anybody carry this with you, but it is actually pretty nice, and you can use it as just a stick if you want to. I've used it to prop up my tarp when I'm camping. I've used it for, self-defense. If I don't have my knife on me, I can grab my tripod. And then there's the rest of this stuff. So I think the next thing we should probably talk about is the backpack itself. This backpack I bought on Amazon before I left, and it served me pretty well, but as you can see, it's starting to get a little bit of wear and tear on it. There's a couple things. The straps on the top have kind of half snapped off. I'm not really sure what they're there for anyway. It's got a lot of kind of useless long straps and stuff that I've never bothered cutting off. These side straps are some of the most annoying. These straps are very useful, and I'll show you why later. On the inside as well, it had a waterproof lining on it that is now very, very quickly flaking off and getting in and around everything. Which is very annoying. So, with the kind of hell I've put it through, I think it's done pretty well, but it is a little worn down at this point. So, I guess the next one, let's just go right over here. Over here we have got my coffee making stuff, as well as just general cooking. Alright, so here's the cup. This is, I just bought this at Walmart, I'm pretty sure. It's just pretty standard aluminum. It's got a handle, it's a cup. I don't know what to tell you. Inside there I've got lots of instant coffee packets. Obviously this is not a necessity, but they're not that expensive, and they do a pretty good job. Right here is the stove nozzle, I guess is what you call it, the burner. This is what it looks like. It's pretty compact. I will try and dig up the Amazon listing that I bought it from and put it on the screen. But this is what it does. It folds out like this, and then you have a nice camping burner. It attaches via a nice screw, and it has this is a valve for turning on and off the gas, and it came with this thing right here is the starter that it came with. You would click this button and it would spark, but that broke very quickly, so now I just use good old-fashioned lighter. And this right here is the kind of fuel that it takes, butane propane mix. You can see the type of connector it has right there. These are relatively cheap from Walmart. I think they're like 10-15 bucks mostly, and they last for quite a long time. I've only ever used 2 of these over the course of probably like 5 months that I was using this system. So yeah, I think that one works pretty well. All right, and here's how this goes in here. Looks like this. I should do this. I'll do it with the power of editing. This goes in here like this, and then the cup goes right on top of that. And that's what fills up this pocket. It fills it up quite nicely, I think. Right there. So that's one pocket down, and then the creamer over here, well, that'll go in the main body, but I'll do that later. Put that over there for now. So we've done one side pocket. Let's look at the next side pocket. So this side pocket's got really a hodgepodge of stuff in it. It's kind of just whatever fits, but also it is useful, like, I don't know, crafting materials, I guess. Got a bunch of different kinds of string here. this bag has a couple things in it. Some random pens, a knife that I don't really use, and then this right here is the goat. So the Gorilla Tape is what I use to do this kind of thing, which is nice because this then clips onto this carabiner over here, and I can take that with me while I'm walking and everything. Makes it nice and convenient. I've also got some other stuff here that I was doing this for a while. I kind of stopped, but I was doing the wire wrapping for a little bit. That's also what these up here are for. I'm probably getting rid of that pretty soon. I don't think I'm doing any more of that stuff. This is a piece that actually goes to my tent over here. I'll show more of that later, but right now it's extra, so I just have it with the rest of the string. And I got a couple of bandanas over here. Got a knife sharpener, which I barely use. And I have a Rubik's Cube, which I'm not really sure why I brought it, but I do know how to solve it. And it's fun to have around, I guess. And I had some extra space, so I put it in there. That stuff all goes in this pocket right here, and it's not even full all the way, so there's room for other stuff. I just don't have anything I feel like I need to put in there right now. All right, next let's talk about the stuff I keep in the big pocket in the front. There's going to be these things over here. I got a bunch of trash bags in case it rains and I need to cover my backpack. That's the main thing I would use it for. And then I've also used it to line the bottom of my tent if I think I'm going to be camping on some wet ground. Try not to do that if I can help it, but these are some zip ties. I have not actually used them almost at all, I don't think. In here I've got toothbrush, toothpaste, a razor, and a bunch of blades. Don't use that much as much as I should, but that's what it is. And then I got some gloves, and I got a book, which is just some fantasy book I'm actually already finished with. I need to get a new one. And a notebook, which has a bunch of stuff in it that is useful. Alright, then there's this stuff, which goes in the other front pocket. I got all the weed that I got. That's I'm on the West Coast, so it's all legal. YouTube, don't flag me for this. Then I have this stuff, which I mainly use for washing. I got a couple things that need washing around here, so I got some Scotch pads and I got some collapsible, things you can put water in. And then there's a random manual for something we'll look at later. Alright, right here we have a few sort of, I don't know, medical items, I guess you could say. I have sunscreen, shampoo, which I actually haven't even used. This is hand sanitizer, which is nice to have around. Bug spray, absolutely essential. You need this stuff. It's not really the season right now, but you definitely need it. And foot powder is another thing you definitely need. If you get your feet wet, if you get water in your shoes and your boots, this is absolutely essential. That all goes in the top pocket up here. Alright, so let's move away from the backpack for a minute and move on to the fanny pack. Fanny pack is absolutely essential. I keep things in here that I use often, daily even, or just need to have on hand when I do need them. So this stuff in here is all very important. The fanny pack itself is, not the best, admittedly. I didn't really look very hard for a high quality one. I just bought this from Target, I believe. It's kind of the only place that had a fanny pack. It's got a cup on the side that's absolutely useless. It came with a bottle that I threw away. And it's got two compartments. It is severely trashed right now, and I will probably have to replace it soon. But it still holds things, so it's fine for now. Starting with the big stuff, I have this multi-tool. I just got this from Walmart, but it's been absolutely essential. Very, very useful. It's got pliers right there. And then on the insides, it's got stuff that folds out. I don't know what this is. I think that's for sewing or some shit. That's a screwdriver, which you don't need that often, but when you need it, you need it. There's another screwdriver plus a bottle opener, and then a knife. And then on the other side, you have a saw, which is very, very handy to have for cutting down limbs, getting stuff out of your way. I mean, it's not going to take down anything huge, but it's a very nice, compact little saw. Oop. You can see the teeth there. Then there is this thing. I don't really know what that is, but sometimes it's nice to just have a little stick. Another bottle opener, don't know why there's two of those, and a file, which sometimes comes in handy, I don't know. But the saw is probably the most useful thing, followed by maybe the knife, screwdriver, pliers. The pliers maybe be the most useful, I don't know. But it all folds up into this nice solid package. It's all cut up as you can see, but it's fine because, like, how are you going to damage this thing? It's really pretty sturdy. And that just goes right in there in the big pocket. Then there is a pair of scissors. Pretty basic. I think these ones were pretty cheap. Also, along the same lines, a comb, which I obviously just use for my beard since I don't have any hair. I literally found this on the side of the road, so cost me nothing. And I just keep those in the same pocket right there. Okay, along the lines of the foot powder and the other stuff, wet wipes. They're just so handy to have for multiple reasons. I can't even begin to describe. I mean, you're going long periods without showers. I won't go into the gory details, but it's just nice to have these. And I like the one that has a hard plastic lid that snaps shut. The ones that are just like peel and stick, they don't work. They will dry out on you. They'll come apart. So I always buy this kind. Along the same lines, just a big old wad of napkins. Again, many uses. You just need these. You need to have them around. They're good to have at a moment's notice. And those I put in this little inside pocket, just so that they don't get too crazy on me. After that, we've got this here, which is some Bluetooth headphones. I have had these the whole time. They've been very nice. I don't know what brand they are. Odium, I guess. It's pretty nice. I like having the case here too. Helps keep them from getting crushed, keep them from getting tangled. It makes it easier to store, easier to get in and out of the bag. So Bluetooth headphones, quite useful. Deodorant. Just deodorant. Not much to say about that. I keep it in here because you need to reapply it frequently, so I don't want to keep it in the other pocket. A harmonica. So this I got a long time ago in Tupelo, Mississippi, birthplace of Elvis Presley. You can see that video on my channel. The idea was I was going to busk with it, and I have once, but I'm not that good at it. I can play a couple songs. And that's about it. It's pretty beat up. It has not survived that well in that pocket there. You got some freaking lint in one of the things, and I don't play it as much as I should, but it still works. It's been through a lot, and it still works, and I'm happy to have it. Now just go right in there. Sharpie, you never know. And a set of chalk pens. So these are they're used for putting down tags. I try not to put them in places where people don't want them, but you know, it's your thing. You put down your tag, people can see you've been there, etc., etc. I like it. Okay, now we're moving on to electronics. So I've got some charging cables for my phone and for my headphones, and also for this thing. So this is a battery bank, a power bank. It is 4,000 milliamp hours, and yeah, very, very handy to have. I use my phone a lot. I use it for editing. I use it for filming. I use it for all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just, it's a real bummer if the phone goes down. So I have a power bank. I have these cables. They're about 10 feet long, which may seem like overkill, but you never really know what the situation is going to be. And then I have this fast charging USB-C cable, which my phone supports, and that is useful as well. Those all go in this front pocket right here, and they take up pretty much the whole space in there, but that's fine, and they are good to have at a moment's notice. At least they're available at a moment's notice. All right, next I have a flashlight. I think the battery's pretty low, which is why it's really dim right now, but this is very useful to have, not just for light, but also for self-defense. So the other thing I have for self-defense is a knife. But the thing is, if you pull out a knife on somebody, you've just escalated the situation. If they have a weapon, they're going to pull it out. If they've already pulled out their weapon, you have just committed to a fight, and you don't want to fight. If you can help it at all, you don't want to fight. If you have to pull this thing out, you better be ready to use it. That's my mentality. And the other part of that mentality is don't pull it out. So I have it just in case, but this is the actual self-defense weapon, especially at night. Just pop that up, start blinding some fools, and it's got the little spikes on the edge, which just help a little bit. And this is also a little bit beat up. The lens is rattling around in there, which is probably also part of why it's so dim. Yeah, might need to replace that soon, but for now it still works, and that goes in the same pocket, kind of sticking out like this. It's not that easy to access in a sort of self-defense situation, but when I'm sleeping at night in an area that I don't feel is safe, I get it out and I put it right next to me, and I usually have my knife there as well as maybe the tripod to just use as a stick. But whatever you can get your hands on. I mean, you just got to be resourceful. And I have a bunch of metal stuff, which some of them are useful, some of them are not. So this fork and spoon came with the stove that I have, and they have been absolutely amazing. So they fold out like that, they snap in place, and then they lock. The lock doesn't work 100% of the time, but it works 90% of the time, which is good enough. You got your fork, does the same thing. And with those, I mean, you can eat whatever you can buy. So very nice, and it's so nice that they fold up too, and just come in a little package like that. They do disassemble as well. Show that off. So when you have it out like this, you can squeeze it and pop it out, and you can take this. No, you can't take this off. But yeah, you can get into all the little nooks and crannies there, which, as you can see, do get dirty. I need to wash this. I will do that before I use it next time. And it just pops right back on. There you go. All of these things I put in this other pocket to the side, and that just keeps them from getting jostled around too much. Nail clippers. These are absolutely useless, and I regret bringing them with me. All they are is a pain in the ass, and they make things harder to do in that pack. They're just taking up space, and I will probably be getting rid of them. Tweezers. A little more useful. They got the points on the end. Sometimes I don't even use them as tweezers. Sometimes I just use them as like a little sharp stick that I can use. But also, you know, if you get a bad splinter or something, it's nice to have them. Goes in the same place. This thing here I just bought, but it's supposed to be a bottle opener and a can opener, so can't really tell you whether that's useful or not, but I just bought it, and that's going in the same spot. And then I got some replacement batteries for the flashlight, which are self-explanatory. And that is everything that goes in my fanny pack. Alright, so we've taken care of most of the small stuff. I'll quickly cover this stuff right here, but this is very new. and I have not really had the chance to use it. Same with the knife. This knife is new. I had another one before, but got this one now. This here is the Baofeng UV5R8W, which is a radio which can pick up
frequency mode,
ham radio signals and radio, FM and AM radio, and this is going to be useful for train hopping, theoretically, but I have not actually put it to the test yet, so I can't really vouch for it in that regard. This is the charger for that radio. This is a lanyard and also a set of headphones. I have not really decided where the permanent home of that is going to be in my pack, but I'm going to figure that out as I go along here. This knife is also very new. It's old, as far as I know. It might even be from World War II. It comes with a knife sharpener. I also have a knife sharpener that I showed earlier. It seems pretty nice. Again, I just bought it, I just got it from a family member. It's got, it attaches to your belt. I'm going to be looking for a new way to attach that so it's a little bit quicker to get on and off. But I don't have any ideas for that yet, so these are the new things that I don't really have a place for, and I don't know if they're that useful yet. Now we can move on to some of the big stuff. So I am going to go in order of how I pack these things into my pack. So that would mean starting with my clothes. This is not all my clothes, some of them are washing right now. But I got socks, I got underwear, I got a towel, and I got like 3 pairs of pants, 3 shirts, and an underlayer of pants as well. So I carry a lot of clothes with me. I probably don't need to. I could probably get rid of some of that, free up some space and some weight, but it's not really an issue right now, so I'm keeping it all with me. And this stuff goes all the way at the bottom of the pack. When I have dirty clothes, I put them below the clean clothes bag to keep that stuff all separated and to keep the dirty clothes away from all the other stuff in my bag, which sometimes includes food. So after that, I will usually put food, if I have any food that is going to fit well there. And then I have this, which is a solar panel, as you can see. It just has a USB output. I think it's a very basic solar panel. And it doesn't work great, to be honest with you. You need direct sunlight, and it needs to be in the sun for like, I don't know, like 10 hours to fully charge my battery pack, which I just am never in the same place for that long at the same time. So it has not had much use lately, but when I was in Arizona, it was sunny a lot, and I did use this. That stuff is going to go in there. It's right on top of the clothes bag. Okay, next up is the sleeping bag. This is my sleeping bag. It is a, where do I got here? It's a cold weather mummy sleeping bag. It is rated down to 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Weighs 5.7 pounds. It's pretty bulky, but worth it if you're traveling in the winter at all. It's coming into the summer months now, so it's going to be a little different, but it's very cushiony, and it actually washes really well, which is something I did not have with my last bag. My last bag was a down sleeping bag, and it did not wash very well. This currently takes up pretty much all of the space in the inside of my pack. It's very bulky, and if you can find a more lightweight sleeping bag that's still rated highly, then I would go for that. But this was available at Walmart for like 30 bucks, and when I needed it, it was there. And the next thing here is going to be the tent itself. So here's the tent. These are the tent poles, and these are the tent stakes, and that all goes together. And I put that just in on the sides of the sleeping bag. Okay, and then after that, we get this creamer here, which I talked about, and this beanie. And if I'm not wearing my jacket, I'll also put that in over here. If there's any space on the sides, I'll put it in there. If not, just put it right on top. And that is going to be the last thing that goes directly inside of the bag. After that, I have a couple things here, which are my camping pad, which I put on the ground inside the tent, and this tripod stool, which is, let's say, a bit of a luxury, but it's very, very cheap, and it comes in handy. It actually packs down pretty well. I mean, it's just a stick, basically. So that and this tripod will all go in the same place. Alright, so that is my tarp. It is green and blue, which is not quite camouflage, but sometimes it makes me feel better about myself, even though it doesn't work. This is my leather jacket, which I keep folded up until I need it. And these two things go together on the very top of the pack. Alright, and that is everything. That is all the things that I keep in my pack and how I put them in. And yeah, like I said, this is a constantly growing and evolving list of things. And so if I do this video again in like 3 months, 6 months, whatever, this will probably be very different. But this is what I've been using, and it's gotten me through some tough times. So that's about it. Check out my other videos and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. I'll be making more how-tos and whatnots and you know, one-offs. And thank you very much. Have a good one.